This year for Halloween, we're going to be reading some of my viewers' scariest stories and doing some fun, silly little Mad Libs. These were all pre-submitted, so if you want to participate in the future stream, make sure you're following my offline social media. It's mostly Peacein_17 on most sites. And if you want to watch live, you can follow my Twitch, twitch.tv/Peacein_17. Let's go ahead and read some scary stories. Also, click subscribe right now. We had a small handful of people submit their scary stories. And also, before we get into it, just a brief flash warning. I am going to be flickering a flashlight throughout the stream today. So if that doesn't vibe with you, watch the next video, please. Here's your warning. 3, 2, 1. We're locked in. Get cozy, get your blankets, cuddle up next to our little fire. But don't get too close. Come hang out in the stream, it's lit. Just like my chat room right now, I'm gonna put you guys in the fire. Do you like that? Okay, so stupid. Okay, our first story of the night. From Chocolatey Claire in chat. I live with my parents in my 20s! Ah! I screamed when I read that too for the first time. From Colbobo in the chat room. And just to preface, I'm reading things exactly how people wrote this out to me. So if it's bad grammar, it's not my fault. It's their fault. One night, we were leaving late at night, and we pulled out of the driveway, and an older lady stood in front of our car. She said we were stealing stuff, which we weren't. We had to call her dad out of the house to scare the woman off. I think she was on something? It was like, really random though, because we don't live in a big neighborhood, and it was late. Finish. Creepy. I mean, I think they were just trying to, like, do a little bit of trafficking, you know what I mean? Also, whenever you're in your car, keep the doors locked. You never know when somebody's gonna try and get in there. Also, make sure your seatbelt's on, too, all the time. Our third story of the night, from the roomies in chat. I saw a movement in the house. It was fast. I looked down, and lurking under my bed was the debt collector. I kind of burped at the end. Oopsie. I had my sister write this one. And dude, it was so annoying because she told me she was going to write a story 2 days ago and then she forgot, which valid because she's working now. She sent me this in like 6 different text messages, like 1 sentence per line. Our final story from chat is by Dino Crystal 20. Parentheses. This is a made-up story I made for an English assignment like a year ago. Close parenthesis. On a dark and scary night. Scared emoji. ... The mother wakes up to the sound of the baby crying. She sighs as she makes her way to the baby's room, but when she walks in, she sees someone gently cradling the baby, covered by the shadows of darkness. Looks like my husband finally decided to take the initiative for once. Oh my god. Shade. She says backhandedly under her breath as she walks back to her bedroom. Suddenly, she hears a noise coming from the basement. The mother rushes down to check it out, only for it to be her husband grabbing a midnight snack from the fridge. He gently kisses her cheek as he continues in the kitchen, loud sounds of crying still coming from the baby's room. Wait a minute. If her husband is downstairs... ... Who was that with her baby? She immediately rushes upstairs, tears running down her face. Swiftly, she makes her way to the baby's room. She notices the sound of the baby crying promptly stop. Boom! She slams the door open, only to find the man gone. All of a sudden, she feels a drip of blood fall onto her from the ceiling. Her husband flinches to the sound of his wife screaming. He sprints upstairs to check on her, his heart racing as he worries about what is going on. The husband walks through the still open door, only to find the room empty. Then, a drop of blood falls on his hand. Then another. He looks up to find not only the baby, but his wife hanging on the ceiling, their stomachs slit with blood dripping out. His vision suddenly begins to blur. The last thing he sees is a shadowy figure grabbing rope. I almost thought it said gripping. Like, flush! Honestly, this is pretty good. Good job, Crystal. You know what? I'll be honest. It's kind of giving Wattpad, this is my third story I've ever written, but it's good. some good exposition, some good setup. You know, develop this a bit more. And you know what? I'll publish you. I'll give you 20K. Get to work. I've read all the stories that my viewers submitted, so you know what? It's my turn. This is all improv, baby. How about, if you're watching live, give me a prompt. What should my improv story be about? First person to type. Don't make it weird, please. Babies? Summer Camp Minecraft. Okay, let's see it. What if I do all of them? So babies, summer camp, and Minecraft. While I'm thinking of my story, click subscribe right now. Please and thank you. This is gonna be full improv, so if I mess up, don't cancel me. This is my improv scary story. Buckle in, everybody. Get your diapers. It's gonna be spooky. It was just a normal summer vacation. Me and my friend Bob, yes, his name is actually Bob, contrary, everybody giggles, but it is his actual name. We had to sleep in separate cabins, because obviously, if we did, people would think we were smashing, but that is not true. And I would like to clarify, this is a summer camp for adults. I'm not a kid in this story. It was a normal summer. We each had our own cabin. It was a nice night. Our first night there. Not too cold, not too warm. Not saying that I liked Bob, but when we were cuddled up, we were not cuddling. When we were sitting together at the fire, it was not cold enough to scooch closer and have it not be natural. As we were talking and discussing how our first day went, we noticed something rustling in the bushes. We took a glance, turned to each other, took another glance, turned to each other, took another glance, and leaned in closer. And then the rustling stopped. We continued talking, but we still felt like someone was watching us. As we walked back to our cabins, we heard a boom, similar to a Minecraft boom. We quickly turned around and saw a baby laying on the ground. It was right behind us. We both screamed in fear. I gasped. Bob screamed, because I'm more manly than Bob in this story. Sorry, I don't know what to say. I'm not good at this. I started to run back towards the camera, but Bob grabbed my arm and said, "No, we must save the children." He gripped my arm as hard as he possibly could and dragged me towards the baby on the ground. As we looked closer, we saw that it was not real. It was just a toy. But on the toy, its clothes were torn and ripped, painted red. There were also pins stuck in its eyes. "That's weird," I said. Bob said, "Yeah, that is weird. Why would someone do this prank on us?" And just as Bob said us, we glanced and saw a weird figure standing behind a tree. About 100 yards away, maybe 120, I can't see very far, I got glasses. And Bob yelled, "Hey! Hey you! Hey you guys!" Does anybody even know that show? The figure stopped in its tracks. We thought it would keep running, but it started slowly walking towards us. Stomping with every approaching step. As it grew closer, we could see that, oh, it was our friend Bobby! Yes, I have a friend named Bob, and then a friend named Bobby. It's just how it goes. We were like, "Hey, yo, Bobby!" As we looked closer at the baby, instead of pins, it was Bobby pins inside of the eyes. As Bobby walked closer, we were laughing and chortling, because we're like, "Oh, we get it now, it's Bobby pins!" And Bobby was like, "Oh my god, you guys got it!" Somebody get her in the writer's room. Okay, I'm better if I have like time to write. This is like off the jump. The end. Bobby and Bob are in love. Prove me wrong. I mean, we'll never know. Watch next year. That one's going in the history books. Guys, don't patronize me. If I'm like bad, you can just say it's bad. So those are all of the stories that my viewers submitted, and then my little improv one. I promise next year's will be better. I'll actually write a story, because as we can tell, I'm not that good at it. So let's go ahead and jump into some Mad Libs. Wait, I have a bit! I forgot! Guys, we did travel on location today, and if you are worried about the fire, I did bring a fire extinguisher today. So if anything goes bad, we'll just do that, okay? For the Mad Libs, people pre-submitted words, so like adjectives, nouns, some quotes, some songs. I cut them out, so what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna randomly pick them and then attach them to my story. And then whenever that's all done, we'll read them all together. So, just cut to when they're all done. Now, these words are all random. If you don't know how Mad Lib works, you write a story, and then for common types of words, you can swap it out for silly words. I think legit the last time I did Mad Libs was when I was in school. For Halloween, actually. Our first Mad Lib of the night. This is from a teacher's blog that was free. It's titled Halloween Night. It was a cruel Halloween night. As I'm crashing down the street, an elegant monster that looks like a creative couch. Oh, I put a noun instead of a verb. An elegant monster that looks like a creative couch. I'll just say galloped. Out from behind a bush. Ouchies! You angered me! Sorry, said the globe. I'm in a rush to get to perfume that I can get Halloween boot. Okay. I forget how, like, improper these are. He's a monster, but I think Halloween clock sounds really good. So I follow the bodacious monster. We ran damply all the way down the street through a big bag o' cash and over a pumpkin, only to find out that there was no Halloween piano. It just goes to show you that you should not trust a what? Monster on Halloween. Oh, I said an exclamation, not dude. How did I mess this up? I literally put 2 wrong types of words here. I did fail my AP Lit exam. And that was our first Mad Lib. Screenshot, guys. Our next Mad Libs is called Trick or Treat, also from a teacher's blog. It is a new Halloween night. I have my teapot costume on and I step outside to begin my evil evening of trick-or-treating. I throw down the street and run up to the first door. Glue gun that shoots melted cheese or a treat, I said as the door began to open. Hot dog or a treat, a weave-it board said on the other side of the door. What does that mean? It means if you don't give me a treat, I'll have to eat a knife on you, huh? Wowzers, he said as he richly grasped out the door and slapped down the street. Wait, what was slapping? I guess he played a trick on me. Okay. Yeah, I'm glad slapping wasn't used in any other part of that one. This will be our final Mad Lib of the night, and this is the one that I personally wrote. So I wrote my own little story and then filled it in with the words you guys submitted. Are we ready? Get cozy. It's gonna be a ride, a wild ride. Me and my best friend, the late Queen of England, had driven for hours to make it to the pumpkin patch, which is famous for their creamy maze, and being located next to the infamous pool. The moment we paid for our tickets, we sensed something was off. We took a picture by the entrance because of course we needed to pose for the gram. The greeter was Hugh Jackman, poorly disguised as a scarecrow, and jumped at us, startling us both. Frick! We yelped. We felt thirsty as we walked hastily towards the pumpkin field. We grabbed Peacein's second laptop and second phone so we could cut the pumpkins from the vine. After skipping the pumpkins, we headed to the maze, begrudgingly passing the field of flowers because the park was closing soon. In order to win the maze, we had to find 3 objects: the lawn chair, the whisk, and a pen. We quickly found the first 2 things, even though I know I'm not too good with puzzles. As we were nearing the last object, we noticed a beautiful figure following us through the maze. So we sung at them, because we stand on business. Gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, I said, as we ran towards the exit. As we turned to the objects and got the grand cake prize, my friend turned to me and said, "That felt like a movie." It reminds me of my favorite quote, "In God we trust, Abraham Lincoln." I laughed and said, "Pow! That's so real." We hopped back in the car and the radio was playing "Let It Go" from Disney's Frozen. "Oh my god, that's our song," we said in sync. That was the most vindictive day ever. The end. A fun day at the pumpkin patch by yours truly, Peacein_17. That was great. Well, that was all of our scary stories for this year. Thank you for watching, and thank you to those who pre-submitted for this year's spooky scary story stream. If you want to participate in future streams, make sure you follow my Twitch, twitch.tv/Peacein_17, and follow me on social media, because there will be Christmas streams coming up soon. But thank you for watching. Subscribe! Bye!